We all dream of making big changes in our lives. We set huge goals. We want to write a book, run a marathon, or build a successful business from nothing. These ambitions are wonderful, but they can also feel overwhelming. We look at the enormous mountain we want to climb and feel paralyzed before we even take the first step. We focus so much on the final destination that we forget the journey is made of countless small steps. The secret to achieving those monumental goals doesn't lie in a single, heroic effort. It lies in the quiet, consistent power of what we do every single day, in the smallest of actions. This is where the magic of micro-habits comes into play. A micro-habit is a tiny version of a larger habit you want to build. It is an action so small that it seems almost trivial. It is so easy to do that you cannot say no. Think of it like a single drop of water. One drop alone seems insignificant. It can't carve a canyon or fill a lake. But when one drop is followed by another, and another, and another, they can collectively create a powerful river that transforms the landscape around it. Your small daily actions are those drops of water, slowly and surely shaping the course of your life. Imagine you want to start exercising regularly. The big goal of going to the gym for an hour every day can feel daunting, especially on days when you are tired or busy. A micro-habit approach would be to simply put on your workout clothes, that's it. The action is so small it takes less than 2 minutes. Or maybe your goal is to read more books. Instead of committing to a full chapter each night, your micro-habit could be to read just 1 page. This approach removes the friction and the internal resistance that so often stops us from getting started in the first place. The beauty of these tiny habits is that they are not about the immediate result. Reading 1 page will not make you a genius overnight. Doing a single push-up will not sculpt your body in a week. The purpose is not the outcome of that single action. The purpose is to cast a vote for the person you want to become. When you put on your running shoes, you're casting a vote for being a runner. When you write 1 sentence, you're casting a vote for being a writer. These small actions are tiny declarations of your new identity, reinforcing it with each repetition. Our brains are wired to conserve energy and resist difficult changes. When we try to implement a massive new habit, our brain often perceives it as a threat or a major challenge, which triggers resistance. This is why so many New Year's resolutions fail by February. We try to do too much, too soon. Micro-habits work by bypassing this natural resistance. The action is so small, so non-threatening that your brain doesn't fight back. It's too easy to object to. Doing 2 push-ups is not a major life change. It's a simple task you can complete without negotiation. This process is deeply rooted in the science of behavior change. Every time you successfully complete a micro-habit, your brain releases a small amount of dopamine, a neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and reward. This positive feedback loop makes you feel good. It tells your brain, hey, that was successful, let's do it again. This feeling of satisfaction, even from a tiny task, is what begins to rewire your brain. It starts to associate the new behavior with a positive feeling, making it more likely that you will repeat it in the future. It's a simple system of reward that builds a craving for the habit itself. Furthermore, micro-habits make it easy to show up. And showing up is the most critical part of building any new routine. Consistency is far more important than intensity, especially in the beginning. It is better to meditate for 1 minute every single day than to meditate for 30 minutes once a week. The daily repetition is what solidifies the neural pathways in your brain, making the behavior automatic over time. By lowering the barrier to entry, micro-habits ensure that you can remain consistent even on your worst days. Anyone can find 1 minute even when they are busy, tired, or unmotivated. Think of it like starting a car on a cold winter morning. You don't just jump in and drive at full speed. You turn the key and let the engine warm up. Micro-habits are the act of turning the key. They are the small, initial effort that gets the engine running. Often you will find that once you have started, it's much easier to keep going. Once you've read 1 page, you might feel like reading a few more. Once you've done 1 push-up, you might decide to do 5. The micro-habit is just the gateway, the trigger that leads to a larger, more meaningful action. Success is not an event, it is a process. It is the product of daily habits, not once-in-a-lifetime transformations. Each time you perform your micro-habit, you are achieving a small win. These wins might seem insignificant on their own, but their cumulative effect is incredibly powerful. They build momentum. Just like a snowball rolling down a hill, it starts small, but it picks up more snow and gains speed as it goes. Your tiny habits are the core of that snowball. Each successful repetition adds another layer, making your progress grow larger and faster over time. This accumulation of small wins does something profound for your confidence. When you consistently follow through on the promises you make to yourself, no matter how small, you start to build self-trust. You begin to see yourself as someone who is capable of change. You prove to yourself day after day that you are the kind of person who shows up. This shift in self-perception is perhaps the most important outcome of the micro-habit process. It's not just about what you do, it's about who you become. Your actions shape your identity, and your identity shapes your future actions. Let's look at some practical examples. If you want to improve your diet, don't overhaul your entire kitchen. Start by adding one piece of fruit to your breakfast. If you want to keep your home tidier, don't commit to a deep clean every weekend. Instead, make a micro habit of putting one item back in its proper place before you leave a room. Want to learn a new language? Use a language app for just 2 minutes while your coffee brews. These actions are so small they can be seamlessly integrated into your existing routine, requiring almost no extra willpower or motivation. The key is to attach your new tiny habit to an existing one. This is a technique called habit stacking. For example, after I brush my teeth, I will floss one tooth. Or, after I pour my morning coffee, I will write down one thing I'm grateful for. By linking the new behavior to something you already do automatically, you use the momentum of your old habit to launch the new one. This makes it even easier to remember and to execute consistently. You are no longer relying on memory or motivation. You are simply following a pre-established script. The journey to a better life does not require a giant leap. It requires a single small step taken today and then again tomorrow. The power of micro habits is that they are accessible to everyone, right now. You do not need more time, more money, or more motivation to begin. All you need is the willingness to start small. Forget about the finish line for a moment and focus entirely on the starting line. The goal is not to achieve perfection immediately, but to establish a rhythm of consistency. Progress will follow naturally from that foundation. So how do you begin? First, choose a goal that is important to you. Then break it down into its smallest possible component. Make it so easy you can't say no. If you want to drink more water, your habit isn't to drink 8 glasses a day. It's to drink 1 sip of water after you wake up. If you want to build a writing habit, don't worry about word count. Just open your document. Make the first 2 minutes of the behavior your entire focus. This is your gateway, your entry point into the new routine. Second, anchor this tiny habit to something you already do each day. As we discussed, this is habit stacking. Identify a solid existing habit in your daily life, like making your bed, brewing coffee, or brushing your teeth, and link your new micro habit directly to it. The formula is simple. After current habit, I will new micro habit. This creates an obvious cue for your new behavior, removing the guesswork and making it automatic. This simple structure is the backbone of building lasting change without relying on fleeting inspiration. You have the power to redesign your life, not through grand, sweeping gestures, but through quiet, deliberate, and incredibly small actions. The change might be so gradual at first that you barely notice it, but do not be discouraged. These tiny improvements, when compounded over weeks, months, and years, lead to remarkable results. The person you want to be is built one micro habit at a time. Start today. Choose one tiny action. Do it, and then do it again tomorrow. This is the simple yet profound path to unlocking your true potential.